wow, really thought-provoking and opinionated and no grey areas. It was black and white, and that was really refreshing.
Fascinating.
Encouraging.
Collaborative.
I've come here really to inform myself about some of the wider issues, and I found the discussion this morning quite invigorating actually.
Personally, I feel as though you rarely hear from the scientists themselves as to how they would like their work published, and therefore kind of a bottom-up approach to how information will be shared in the future.
I was very interested in the last talk in the idea of a bridge, a sort of give and take situation where the public are able to give something back to academia or the cultural or museological environment that they're working with. So it's very much a sort of egalitarian platform for knowledge that can build different ideas over time.
Well, I suppose for the last 10 years or so, we've spent our efforts designing user interfaces for humans, making it easier for them to navigate and find what they want, despite the complexity of the data. And what the interesting idea is now is whether we can expose that complexity so that machines essentially can interpret that data, can interrogate that data, find things for us. And that is going to take a different way of doing things.
Universities need to recognise what value they add. Just having information, yes. I mean, as I said, the internet is a wonderful learning resource. But as we said in the presentations and the discussion afterwards, it's not just about having information. You need scaffolding, you need some help. And sometimes you need guidance, and you need accreditation.
I'm very interested in the idea of history as something that's continually sort of supplementing itself from different voices. So I think it's important to kind of make that as inclusive as possible, and obviously the online environment with the networks it can provide and the sort of non-linear basis by which knowledge can be filtered and built up is a perfect sort of space for that kind of learning to take place.
Well, I was very pleased today to find a much more positive reaction to this than I thought. So a lot of people have said, yes, this needs to be said, and we're excited about it. The exciting thing is actually getting it happening. What we're basically doing is we're building the infrastructure for scholarship on the web. So it's rather like going back to when HTML was developed for the web, which unified the way you did documents. This is unifying the way that you tell the world about scholarship, how to find it, what it is, and so on. And when you see people taking that up and getting excited, that's obviously exciting. So I like the community feedback, the feeling of involvement.
For me personally, it will be a learning process as to where the UK is at in building a metadata ecology.
I actually think a lot of what was said about the fact that we need to get the funders and people who actually control what researchers do into the room, I thought that was really interesting, and the fact that we need to start a conversation with them. And I think also with publishers, because it's very common when publishers aren't there to maybe see them as the bad guys, but I think we need to get a conversation with all parties involved to move this thing forward.
I think it's really important to sort of challenge the top-down institutionalisation of cultural memory by working to hear the voices of a wider audience and potentially kind of bring out hidden histories around artefacts and objects, which is something that I'm particularly interested in working with myself. Yeah.
I think I've stopped doing optimism. I think my priority is to make sure that actually something happens from this. Otherwise, it's a big wasted opportunity.